Love, Lust, and Loss, a relationship series. We are here all winter long, really, having this conversation about love, how we love, why we love, how we get our needs met, how lust comes into the picture, how we lose, why we lose, and how to regain ourselves in this game called love and win, feel successful at it, really feel significant and like we are doing what we really want, getting what we really want in our love relationships, in our family relationships, relationships with our friends, our children, on and on. All right, y'all. So last week we talked a lot. We talked a lot about how our biology works and how our body really embodies and remembers everything about us. Hey, Mommy Gloria, thank you. Nice and easy. So, in a sense, I really want to continue that conversation because the feedback I've gotten is it is so hard to get what I want. It's so hard to connect with the person. It's so hard to, you know, show up the way I really want to show up and be received the way I want to be received. And if people don't usually use those words, but with the examples, that's what's happening. They want to be themselves, but they're really not sure how to be themselves. And this is in all types of relationships. I mean, children will show up and try to be who they are. They're like teenagers or something, so they don't know fully, but they try to be who they think they are, and their parents go, no, you're not that person. You have to be this person I deemed you to be because that's what's important to me. And so one of the foundational things we really, really need to look at how we love. And I posted earlier, somebody texted me talking mess because I said it's probably your fault. If you're not getting your needs met in your relationships, it's probably your fault. And somebody texted me talking mess because it's like, well, they did this and they did that. And there's a lot of that going on, of course, and there always will be because people will always try to do what's best for them. And that does not always include you. But the reality is we're all responsible for our own happiness. We're all responsible for ourselves. So it doesn't matter what somebody else does. It's up to you to find a way to get through it. It's up to you to find a way to forgive or move on or heal or whatever you need to do. It's up to you. But the good thing is you can do it. You really can. It's not as hard as people make it seem. But before we get there, let's back up because I feel like we need to talk about our needs. Too many people complain that their needs aren't getting met, and that's why they're bailing. People are cheating, they're bailing, they're just not being present. Like they're there physically, but they're not really there. They are just avoiding people. You avoid certain family members. You avoid your parents. Some people avoid their children too. It's like these little people get on my nerves. They avoid people. So depending on who you are, how you show up, how you react is based on your needs. And then I say your real needs, because people will get in relationships and think, I just need a companion. I just need to be loved. Or I just need to be, a parent, usually because children bring an extra amount of love at first, then they're very demanding. But really, people get into all kind of relationships, hang out with certain family members because they have a need. You have a need, I have a need, we all have needs. So the good thing is we're all on the same playing field. We have needs. There's some basic human needs that we all have. And here they are. 6 human needs in general. Different specialists, researchers will say different things, but in general, they are kind of grouped into these 6 areas. We all need love. We all need to be loved. That is undeniable. There's no argument there. We all need love or connection. We all need significance. We need to feel like we're significant in some way to somebody, in the world in some way, in your job in some way, in your family. Like we all need to feel significant. And so, depending on how you grow up, if you didn't feel love, like literally, if a baby is not touched enough, held enough, cuddled, felt love, have their needs met, they can literally die. Like, that's how serious love is for us. That is the leading cause of suicidal ideation and deep depression here in the world. People not feeling loved and not feeling significant. They don't feel like anybody can. They'll say things like, if I disappear tomorrow, nobody will even notice because I'm not significant enough in anybody's life to where they'll notice if I'm gone. And so significance is huge, huge. Love is huge. We all need certainty to a certain extent. We need to know that if I show up, you know, there's something, certain things are going to happen automatically. I'm going to be able to eat every day. I'm going to have a roof over my head. I'll be able to take care of my children. I'll be able to walk, whatever the case for different people. But we all need a level of certainty based on what our standards are, really. And so, and that goes for all of them. So you can go down the line and really talk about each need because we all have them. But the importance that we place on each need is different. So somebody may say, their most important need is certainty. They need to be certain in life. And usually it is a person who has grown up as a child. They had a lot of uncertainty in life. Maybe they didn't always have a roof over their head. Maybe they weren't always able to come home to food or, have clothes that fit, have their people show up for them, their family show up for them. Who knows? But usually a person who craves certainty has had uncertainty in their childhood a little too much, right? Because we need a balance. And so then that same person will get in a relationship with somebody to fulfill that need for certainty subconsciously. But consciously, they think this is just a great person and I love them and I'm ready to do what adults do. I don't know. I want to get married and have kids and do these things they tell me to do on TV, right? This is it. But since the truth is, subconsciously, they have married this person for certainty. Usually they've married them because they know they can take care of them, or they're in that relationship because they know they'll be taken care of. They know they won't go hungry. They know they'll always have a roof over their head. They have children. They know they'll be able to provide for their children. And then 20 years go by and the person looks up and says, I don't really love this person. In fact, I barely like them. This was a marriage of convenience. Or I stayed with this person because of the children, because that level of certainty that I needed, right? Or I did what, my parents wanted me to do because I just need to know that they would love me. And that was my way of gaining certainty, gaining love. I need to know that if I do, because it seems like that's what they said, right? That's what they insinuate. If I do exactly what they said I should do, then they'll love me, right? And so people act out their needs in relationships, their core needs, not their surface ideas of what a good relationship is or not. Hey. So knowing that we are more than, what is in our head, what is in our brain, what we think about on a daily basis, knowing that the core, most of us is really underneath it all. What we act out is really in our subconscious. It is a part of what we have deemed our standards. So my friend who was talking mess today, I love you, but there is something about taking responsibility for your own crap that is so powerful. Like when you decide, okay, this keeps going wrong and there's a common denominator here, like what is really happening? What is it that I'm looking for? Because usually we are looking to serve these needs, but we don't really know how to put it into words. We don't know how to connect the dots for ourselves. And that means we don't know how to give it to ourselves. And so you all know, if you were around for No Narc November, you know that I've had all kind of narcissistic relationships starting in childhood, codependency starting in childhood. And of course, that went on and filtered through my adult life. Well, some of it, until I got rid of it. But before I even knew what it was, before I knew anything about codependency or narcissism, I was living it. I was engaged in those type of relationships with family, with romantic partners. I was doing that, living that life because I was trying to meet needs that I didn't get met in childhood. I was trying to overcome challenges that I really didn't understand. I didn't understand the need for significance. I didn't understand that if you're a child who is not heard, who is shut down, who is kind of pushed to the side, you're a pawn for the people who are supposed to be taking care of you. You don't feel loved if you don't have that certainty that everybody needs. All of these things add up to a person who is chasing love, chasing significance, trying to give all of themselves just so somebody can love them. Like, that is real. And that is what we can call a real life pandemic around here. Like, people are chasing love so hard. And most people are chasing it for most of their lives and never really finding it because it's an inside job. The work starts within. But of course, to do the work, you have to know the problem. And you have to know that we all have needs. So the foundation of how we show up in relationships is our 6 basic human needs. What up? Look at these people. Hey, Fee. Hey, Jaya. So look, now that we know that we all have needs, we can take the pressure off of people. We can, chill out on the judgment. When people show up selfish, it's cool. They're selfish because they have needs that aren't being met, and it's not your job to meet their needs. It's really not. It's their job to meet their own needs first before they can ask anybody for anything. Because if they can't meet their own needs, they can't teach you how to do it. It's a lose-lose battle. And that's what happens so often in romantic relationships, especially. One person will show up with a set of needs, the other person has a different set of needs, or sometimes they have the same set of needs, but neither of them know how to meet their own needs fully. So they're looking at the other person like, it's your job to love me. It's your job to make me feel seen and heard. It's your job to make me feel comfortable. People, I know you've heard the stories, checking people's phones and hacking their Facebook accounts and dumb stuff like that because they need to feel certain. They want to know that this person is being faithful. They're not cheating, talking to any other dudes or any other girls. Like, it's stupid. It's not. It's not stupid at all. It feels stupid on the surface. It feels like, this is ridiculous. Why would you put yourself through that? But in real life, it is based on a deep-seated need that, again, it's not that person's responsibility, but it is a real need. And it's something that makes us all human and puts us all on the same playing field. You see this? I am thirsty. Anyway. So listen, y'all. Now that we know we got needs, when we show up, this is what I want to know. What are your needs? Like, what do you really want? I think that's something that a lot of people just don't take the time to figure out. What is it that you want? Do you know what you really want? Do you know your needs? Have you taken the time to sit down and think through when you're looking for a relationship, a romantic relationship, a relationship with a family member? Because people will complain about their family members for days. It never ends. And they feel powerless. They feel like there's nothing they can do about it. But the truth is, you can change yourself. You can meet your own needs. And so when you meet with family members who don't get you, it doesn't matter. They don't have to get you. You show up, your needs are already met. So whatever, if it's positive, if it feeds you, it's extra. So it's great. If it's not positive, it misses you because you don't need it. You don't need anything from them. So it misses you. You don't even really get into it. All right. So any relationship, you need to know what you want. What do you want out of this thing? Hey, y'all. They having a blast in the chat, y'all. Keep it up. What do you want from this relationship and why do you want it? Because if you want somebody to love you just because you don't feel loved enough, it's gonna fail. Inevitably, you're gonna be unhappy. Inevitably, they're gonna let you down. And in real life, there's not enough that they can do to make you happy. So you need to know your core. Where are you coming from? Where did this come from? Where do these desires come from? Why do you want certain things in relationships? Look at y'all. I love it. Hey, girls. If you met Jaya, if you met Dee, you would really love her. Side note. This is hilarious. Fee, you'll meet her soon when you visit. I love this. So look, let's switch over. Since we're talking about what you want, let's switch over to romantic relationships for real, exclusively, and talk about this. Because y'all know, Leo. I talk to my brother all the time, and I talk to him often about relationships, about men, because or men and women, because I've run into over the years just different types of people who present in odd ways to me, and I be like, bro, I don't understand this dude. What is wrong with him? Why can't they just show up like this? Why can't they just speak their mind? What the hell are they afraid of? Like, I don't know. So I talk to Dr. Leo a lot to try to understand men in terms of relationships. And Dr. Leo is working, he's fighting a good fight. So one of these Tuesdays, I will bribe him into coming on here with me so he can address y'all directly. But one thing I've learned, two things, men, and this is backed by, scientists and gurus and, people who really focus on relationships. Men are looking for respect, right? Primarily. Men are looking for respect. Women primarily are looking for love in relationships. And the intensity of the love that she desires is equal to the intensity of respect that he desires. And so we just show up differently as men and women, or as masculine and feminine energies, because our needs and desires are different. But when we show, we think they should need. You do, right? Women think that they should know what I need. And men think they should know what I need too. But nobody took the time, to really step back and know what it means for them. What does love look like for you? How does it look when you're being loved? How does it look when you're being respected? Do you need that respect? Yes. Just about, I thought they were looking for booty. They are also probably looking for booty. But let's be real, women are looking for booty too. So don't we can't even, it's 2020. I can't really say it is one way and not the other anymore. And I believe you that you're looking for respect too, Fee. But in general, for feminine energy, that is not the number one thing that we need per our experts. I mean, everybody's different. So it's not, it's not an absolute wrong or no. It's just, in general, per our experts, that is not our number one thing that we need. So we all looking for booty, but underneath the booty, because the booty is important. It's very important. But underneath the booty, we want some love, like a lot of it, a lot of significance, and they want some respect, like a lot of it, and a lot of significance too. But we don't make plans for this stuff. Like, people will go to work, and I'm not going to exclude myself. We will go to work or, run our business. We have meetings thought form meetings and brainstorming, and we make plans and we create visions and we create milestones, and we tick things off the list and we look at where we've come, and we really create the type of business we want, or we create the best way to get our job done. We create how we are going to get our children through school. We create how we're going to show up for the holidays. We plan for this stuff. We make plans. We order food in advance. We like tick stuff off. Like, we really do the work to create these other areas of life. But when it comes to our romantic relationships, we just hop in like it's going to ourselves. What happened to family meetings? I heard one dude, I forgot his name, but he was talking about relationships. He's talking about men showing up in marriages. And he's like, I ask my wife every morning, what do you need from me to feel love today? Like, how do you need me to help you? And then I make a commitment. This is how I'm going to help you today based on what she says, because she changes all the time. And I was just like, oh, that is something to think about. Interesting. That is like, I mean, every day is probably not realistic for many people, but that is very interesting, because I remember the idea of family meetings. When you come together as a family and you talk about your family and how you show up, what you represent, what your name means, whatever the case. And that should absolutely be a thing in relationships. What y'all think? Some people think the booty will get you to the love. That is true. That is so true. Some people do think the booty will get you to the love, and that's a misnomer. That's not a thing. Unfortunately, booty will get you a lot of things, not usually love. Lust, lust is on the is on the list, and it works for a while, but it doesn't get you the real thing. No, we don't listen to Steve Harvey, divorced 15 times as. Actually, you know what? I don't hate Steve Harvey, because, being divorced 15 times, you definitely have learned something. I hope. But I definitely don't like men who show up as experts for women. That is not a thing for me. I don't appreciate that much at all. Um, to me, is like, if you don't have a vagina, don't talk about it. That is how I roll. From the common man on through the government. If you don't have a vagina, shut up about vaginas. Talk about your penis. Talk about men and what you need and how you work, and your experiences as a man, and that's it. But yeah, I know it hasn't been 15 times. Shut up. But it has been like three, right? So, but we all learn through. Well, I should see, that's hard to say too, because I know people who've been through the same stuff over and over and over again multiple times, and they never learn. They just feel like that's who they are. And in real life, that's a part of the problem. When we show up, it's about our identity. Like, people will show up over and over again the same way because that's how they identify. That's really like who they think they are. So if a person calls himself a player, right? I'm a player. This is what I do. I don't do, serious stuff. I show up for the booty. And they've made that their identity. That's their set point. That's their standard. Then it doesn't matter if they try to, out of all of a sudden, I'm going to try to be in a relationship because I met this person who I think is nice and I like her. If they've been this player and they've considered themselves that's been their standard for years, that's what's in their subconscious. That's what their body and mind responds to. This whole willpower thing of I'm a now doesn't last long unless you have changed who you are from the core. That's a whole nother topic. But will do everything in power to maintain their identity. This is who I say I am. Who toxic? Stop it. Oh, accountability. Yeah, you probably talking about some narcissist. But if you are, for example, you grew up in a household where marriage was so important, and you become an adult, you get married, and you are in the worst marriage ever. But you have deemed as a part of your identity, I have to be married and stay married because that is a part of who I am. That's what's most important to me and for my family. It's toxic as all get out. It sucks. None of your needs are being met. You're not meeting your partner's needs either. You're completely, off balance, and you don't know how to get back there. You don't even want to be there really half the time. But because that's something that you've set up as a part of your identity, you naturally gravitate towards that. And that happens over and over again in many different scenarios based on our standards. And our standards are really created in our childhood and in our young adult life. So we have to change our standards. We have to raise our standards to become different people, to show up as a new version of yourself. Show up really based on your needs, having met them yourself, knowing what they are, being able to communicate them to your partner, because that's the only way you're going to get anything. That's the only way you're going to get what you want. What's a dumpster fire? You're going to have to school me on that. She teaches me all kind of things, y'all. Because I be like, I'm super innocent over here. I don't know what you're talking about. What is this? So listen, y'all. Without a vision, the people will perish. It's true. Like continuously true. You have to have a vision for your relationships. The people I described are dumpster fire. Oh, same thing as a train wreck, she says. Okay, a dumpster fire is the same thing as a train wreck. Got you. Okay. Yes. In a way, you're right. Definitely a train wreck. And so they show up over and over again, messing up, making promises, not meeting them, stay in the streets. They get better at hiding it, but that's about it. That's about it. But they don't have a vision for themselves beyond what they've already decided. And it's like, when did you decide that you were this type of person? When did you decide that you were a player or a pimp or, a hoe? Because some people call themselves that, a bitch. When did you decide all these things? When did you decide that there was only one way to do something? Mostly, you've made that decision in your childhood or in young adult life, like college, probably. And now, it's 10 years later or 20 years later, whatever it is for you. And you probably need to go back to the drawing board. You need to reassess your life, reassess who you are, who you've become in this time period, and make a new decision about who you are, who you want to be. Make a new decision about who you want to be, because really, you're living in all that past stuff. But if you make a new decision about who you want to be, you can start the process to retrain your brain, as Joe Dispenza says. Love him. Retrain your brain, and it's not that hard. It does take some time and dedication, but you can retrain your brain. You can elevate your standards and be a new version of you, and definitely have more successful relationships. You think people watch too much TV, social media, and come up with these personas? I agree. I completely agree. Um, Most people would definitely, Joe Dispenza, most people would definitely spend a lot of time, hours and hours, watching TV, on social media, trying to be who they think somebody else is. Because most people on TV, especially social media, are fronting. They fronting. That is not their life. They are not showing up like that every day. They do not have successful relationships. They are not happy. They are not fulfilled. You can't go um, modeling after somebody based on what you see on social media. You don't know the truth. And usually that is not the truth. It's not. So often it's not the truth. Even on TV, stars not happy. So look, it's up to you to create your own life. And if some people are really imaginative, if you can take something from somebody else that is their persona, like their character, and take that character and model yourself after that character that they're playing. If you want to be that type of person, that's cool, because you can create whoever you want to be. But don't think that people are showing up, everybody bossing, everybody balling, everybody doing this, everybody making all this money, everybody got all these chicks, everybody, in this great relationship with this dude. And it's like, well, I mean, then why are our depression rates rising, and why is unemployment rising, and why are people struggling, and why are people, having all these extra levels, percentages of domestic violence, and you know all this extra, these higher percentages of custody cases and marriage dissolutions. Like, yeah, we're past 50% now in terms of divorce. So it doesn't add up, and it never will, because it's not real. It's not real. So create your own persona, your own character. I created Lady Wake. Lady Wake is a woman I created. She's a person who's been inside of me the whole time, apparently, but I didn't meet her until 2015, when my daughter was born, my first daughter. In 2015, Lady Wake showed up like, yo, what you need to do is get away from this narcissistic bastard and create a new you, love yourself fully, and because you're about to do this so wonderfully and so fully and quick, you can teach others to do this too. Like, Lady Wake became me, or I became Lady Wake through some crap, man, through deep depression, through being a victim. I mean, it was a mess. It was horrible. I was a mess. But through that was born this person. And so when I puff my chest out and pat myself on the back, it's because I created me through the mud, like a lotus flower comes up through the dirt. And really, most successful people, that's how they've created themselves. They pull themselves up by their bootstraps, as they say, right? It wasn't easy. It usually is not. It usually isn't easy at first, until you get rolling. So don't fall for that. Don't fall for it. I just told you to get out that dumpster fire. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to pick up dumpster fire, Jaya. This is it's weird. I was about to say, is that a Southern thing, but it can't be, because you from the Midwest, so cut it out. I don't know. But that's what it is, y'all. I'm not gonna go too long today. I want to try to keep these around 30 minutes each week. But if you have questions, send them in. Comments, send them in. If you want me to cover something specifically, definitely let me know. I'm here for it all, really. I don't have any strong hangups about much. So just let me know what you need, what you're interested in, and we're going to get it done. We're here every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Meet me back here next week, y'all, and we'll continue this relationship. And I'm really going to try to get Dr. Leo in so we can talk about cheating, because I think he's hilarious when he talks about relationships. So I'm going to work on it so we can have some advice and commentary, really is what it'll be, directly from Dr. Leo. But until then, y'all, send in your questions and, think about what your needs really are and why. And then think about what you want for yourself and take it from there. All right? Peace and love, y'all.